and where the labor movement took the opportunity to hand a letter to the Prime Minister through the Permanent Secretary to the Prime Minister. What happened after the Labor Day event in Faizabad was that the labor movement put out in the public domain a number of demands. And what that did was it basically broadened the articulated position of the labor movement from the issue of pure negotiation over wages to other issues that had to do basically with the role of the labor unions, the approach of the government to the labor unions and to the labor movement and to workers in the country, and which also raise issues about development in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, originally, I thought there were 7 demands because that is what I saw in the press. We had no other way of knowing, but I have been corrected and been informed that there are, in fact, 8 demands. But once that was out in the public domain, after the Labor Day march and the meetings in Faizabad on Labor Day, we thought that it would be an opportune time to open the doorway to discussion and to broaden the nature of the discussion between the labor movement and the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Indeed, we would like to broaden the discussion even further to include government, business, labor, and civil society. But we know that there's an ongoing need to engage the labor movement directly, and we're prepared to do so. Now, in trying to open up that discussion, the labor movement was clearly on a strategy in which part of the strategy was to make their presence felt, so to speak, today at the office of the Prime Minister. And now that they have done that, I would like to simply restate the fact that whenever the trade union movement feels so disposed, we are open to discussion on the matters that they have put forward and on other matters that might be worthy of discussion. As I mentioned before, I am informed, we are informed that they have in fact given to the Permanent Secretary, the Honourable Prime Minister, a letter. Now, we would not know what the contents of that correspondence would be, but I imagine that the Honourable Prime Minister will also take that letter into account as we proceed in solution mode going forward. And I would like to emphasize that our approach is to engage, our approach is to talk, our approach is that there is nothing really that we cannot talk about, and our approach is an approach which sees a solution at the end of the discussion. The Honourable Prime Minister has articulated in Cabinet before that the trade union movement is part of the partnership, of the People's Partnership. And we take that position in our engagement with the trade union movement. And it is in that spirit that we'd like to leave the door open and state our willingness to continue to engage and to work together to find a solution, and thereafter to broaden the discussion nationally to engage other stakeholders in the society so that we can build a kind of framework for decision making through discussion going forward as we proceed on our development agenda.